I saw a interesting claim on how crows work. And it's on this video here. From Salmets, one tip for every crafting recipe in Stardew Valley. Let's have a look.
So you know how you're allowed to plant 15 crops before there's a risk of scarecrows? Planting a 16th crop does start the risk of scarecrows, but only for that 16th crop. Whatever first 15 crops were planted won't be attacked. So if you have split crop fields, you don't need to cover whatever crops were first. Just cover what's after 15.
So there, claiming that these 15 are safe no matter what, and that anyone that would plant over here after the first 15, those are the ones at risk of being crowed. Now, Sal has good information. Sal means good Stardew Valley content creator, good videos. I don't think he's right in this case. So the best way to test that is to go in game and test that. We're going to do this in Smappy because I want to sleep with tent kits. So 15 seeds. Right now there is a 0 chance that a crow will come to strike because we've only got 15. Cool. All well and good so far. Now we'll come over here, clear out some debris, and let's plant a 16th seed. Oh no, we now have a chance of crows. So if I was to sleep right now and sleep on through, is there a risk of crows? Trick question. These are seeds. A crow will never come and try to eat a crop at the seed stage. Okay, so now that they're watered, now we have the chance of crows coming. So, if I sleep and a crow comes, according to the claim, only this one can be eaten and these ones will be fine. Oh, let's go to sleep until we have some crows come. No crow there, no crows, no crows. Grass comes on in. Oi! Go away. We want to see. There's science happening. Grass, get away from my science. Still no crows. Now, there's a reason for this that I'll cover a bit later. Because we've slept for ages and we've had no crows. Get back. Science zone, no grass allowed. I see you sneaking in there. Aha! A crow ate one of the original 15. A crow came, ate this, busted. So we are going to have a look into how crows actually work. There's some misinformation about crows around. Let's look at how they actually work. Let's clear up any misinformation there. The best way to look to see how crows work, let's go to the code. In the code, there is a method here called add crows. I think this is the right place to look at. Add crows, one reference. This is called in the day update of the farm. It tracks the number of crops that you have on the farm. So crops are held on hoe dirt, which are held in terrain features. Go through all terrain features looking for the hoe dirt and looking for hoe dirt that has a crop in it. For each one of those, increment this number. This counts the number of crops you currently have growing on the farm. Scarecrow positions. Go through every object that is outside on your farm. If it is a scarecrow, then save those positions. This one here, potential crows. The number of crows that could potentially spawn. Math.min, so take the smaller number of 4 or number of crops divided by 16. So if you have 15 crops, 15 divided by 16 is less than 0. And the way that the math works when it's two integers is that it just rounds down. It cuts off, it truncates, takes off everything after the decimal point. 0.9375. Cut off all that, returns 0. 15 crops, potential crows is 0. When you have 16 crops, 16 divided by 16 is 1. So as soon as you plant your 16th crop, potential crows becomes 1. Once you have planted your 32nd crop, potential crows is 2. Then 48. And then once you have planted your 64th crop and onwards up until your 10,000th, if there's room for that on the farm, which there isn't, you only ever get 4 because you get the smaller number of 4 and this here. So only, even if your entire farm is covered with crops, you can only ever get 4. a maximum of 4 crows. Then go into a loop. So this is for each potential crow that we have. This here, a 30% chance. There is a 70% chance that this is all that happens. And the potential crow doesn't hit. 30% chance that it continues to carry on, which is quite low. Every night when we had those 16 crops out there, one potential crow, and then a 70% chance that it just does nothing. Gone. Okay, if you get your potential crow and you hit that 30%, what happens? Attempts less than 10, attempts plus. Try 10 times. This loop here will happen 10 times, potentially. Get a random terrain feature. Terrain feature is a collection. It's all of the hoe dirt on the farm. It's all the trees. It's all the grass, and it's all the flooring. Get a random terrain feature out of that. If the feature is not hoe dirt, so say it finds a tree, say it finds a tile filled with grass, continue. That attempt failed, add 1 to the attempts, carry on, attempt number 2. So if the crow finds 7 trees and 3 bits of grass, the crop gives up. If you have a lot of grass, if you have a lot of trees, if you have a lot of flooring, it's hard for a crop to find the hoe dirt. Okay, the crow has now found hoe dirt. If there is no crop growing in that hoe dirt, then continue on to the next attempt. If there is a crop in the hoe dirt, but it is in the first phase, if it is still in the seed phase, if it's like this, if it's yet to sprout, then the crop ignores it. A crop will never eat seeds. A crop will only ever eat something that is growing, something that has sprouted. So if a crop stays at the seed phase for multiple days, for example, ancient fruit, you plant on day 1, you water it, it's still shown as a seed on the second day. So an ancient seed cannot be eaten on the first day because it is still in the seed phase. So up here, stage 1, if it's still in stage 1, it can't be eaten. Crop.currentphase.value is less than or equal to 1. That's the phase of when you first put it into the ground. Okay, the crow has found hoe dirt with a crop in it that is growing. Okay, we're down here. Look to see if this tile is within range of the scarecrows. So it's got a copy of all of the scarecrow positions up here, if you're in range of the scarecrow. So go through all of the tiles and scarecrow positions, get the effective radius for that scarecrow so it's bigger if it's deluxe. If the tile is within range of a scarecrow, then increment the number of crows a scarecrow has scared off and break. This means stop attempting. If the crow chooses hoe dirt that has a growing crop in it, but that tile is within range of a scarecrow, break. The crow is scared off, it stops looking, and no crop is eaten. Okay, the crow has found some hoe dirt with a growing crop in it and not in range of a scarecrow, then destroy the crop and spawn the crow, and then break. It's eaten the crop and it's done. The method here to get random, it looks at terrain features. It looks at the entire collection of hoe dirt, trees, grass, and flooring. There is nothing in here that limits it, that protects the first 15. All this does is grab something at a random element, at a random index. Nothing in here limits the first 15. So that is how crows spawn. Now there was something else that I saw around crows, another thing that is worth looking at. Crows will not eat crops grown from wild seeds. Wild seeds are the seasonal forage seeds. Spring seeds, summer seeds, fall seeds, winter seeds. So the claim here is that crows will not eat crops grown from wild seeds. That is sort of true. So the reason why it took so long for a crow to eat one of our crops is because I have a lot of trees and grass. So a crow tries 10 times to find hoe dirt with a growing crop in it. Well, those 10 times, Well, firstly, it has to hit that 30% chance, and then it's got to find that there's a lot of grass and trees. It is highly likely that the crows were not finding any crops because they were getting confused by the trees and the grass. So to make crops more likely, 3, 2, 1, let's clear out everything, shall we? This was a debug command. Debug space clear farm just clears everything. So for this one, let's go crazy. No longer looking at the first initial 15. So we just need a whole bunch down. Now, forage seeds like this are different. They can grow the seasonal forage, but the forage that they grow is determined once they are fully grown. They grow into a random forage from the season. So the question is, will a crow eat a crop grown from wild seeds? We have crops grown from wild seeds on the farm. Let's set the day back. No crows. No crows. If a crow was to spawn and hit that 30% chance, it is highly likely that they find a tile, because there's nothing else on the farm now. So it seems that crows aren't eating these crops grown from wild seeds. So that is true. However, it doesn't paint the entire picture. Let us plant this again, but this time let's water it. So crops are being watered. Still seed stage. So these seeds are immune because it's still the seed stage. Okay, they have sprouted, and there's definitely enough there to spawn some crows. Go away, grass, we are doing science. Oh, look, it's raining. This grass really wants to encroach in our experimentation. Grass, go away. Oi! Let's add some parsnips, because we know for sure that crows can eat the parsnips. I think we're just not hitting the 30% chance. I think we need to... And they're fully grown. Okay, we're scaling up. Move speed, infinite health. I've gone mad. Okay, we are again going to use the weather to sprout these. Okay, let's get some sprouting wild seeds. Boom. Do we have any crows? No, we've yet to have any crows. I'm starting to think that I was wrong for the forage crops. Can't be. No grass allowed. Sorry, no grass allowed. Sorry. Sorry, sorry, sorry. Surely by now crows would have hit. Is my hypothesis for this wrong? That is possible. Because the reason why I think that these can be hit is... this just looks for dirt, hoe dirt, with crops in it. If we go to the save file, if we format that to XML and close down all the tags, come to saved game, locations, farm. Farm has these terrain features that we were looking at before. So in these, they have a location, they have a type, so in this case hoe dirt, all of ours are going to be hoe dirt, and see we have a crop. And in the crop we have a current phase. And that current phase is 1. If current phase value is less than or equal to 1. So it's hitting that and continuing. Interesting. I'm going to plant two seeds and just 2 seeds. We're going to plant parsnip and a wild seed. I'm going to water them both and sleep. We're then going to go back to the save file and we're going to format it and close it down. Close down all the tags and then come into locations, farm, terrain features, and now we've got 2 items here. Both of those are hoe dirt. One of them is on 58.19, the other one is on 57.19. So this is the one on the left, this is the one on the right. This is the one with the parsnip. Parsnip has a current phase of 1. Current phase 0. And we're looking at current phase. Both of these are immune right now. This here and this here, they're both immune. So the seed phase and the phase immediately after the seed phase are immune. The forage, phase 0, phase 1, fully grown. Because the seed phase and the phase after are immune, and because a forage crop does not mature like any other crop. Any other crop, like the parsnips, stay planted in the ground to be picked up. You can walk over them. They're still in the hoe dirt. A forage crop gets converted to an above ground object, above ground forage. You can't walk through it. It's like forage that has been spawned around the map. It is no longer in the hoe dirt. When the forage crop matures, it is completely immune from crows, and because they only have 2 phases, a phase 0 and a phase 1, and both of those phases are immune, then the wild seeds are immune from crow attacks. Crops with only 2 phases are immune. Well, until they're fully harvested. And because forage crops have a unique behavior when they're fully grown, that means they're fully immune. Any other crops, so they have 4 grow phases and 1 harvest phase. The harvest phase, they're susceptible to crow attacks. The first 2, they're immune, and any other ones, including the final forage phase. So if a crop only had a seed and a fully grown, then they would be fully immune. If it looked like this, it would be fully immune. Interesting. So going back to ancient fruit. Ancient fruit have 9 full days of being immune. They're immune over these 2 days and over these 7 days. It's only when the ancient fruit sprouts to here that you need to put the scarecrows on them. Now, there is one scenario. No, it's not even that. I was about to say there is one scenario that a forage crop can be eaten. Anyone have any idea of what I'm thinking of? The weird fairy forage. Yes, that's what I was thinking of. So there is something unique, another unique thing around forage crops. And this is around forage crops and fairies. This is mentioned in a short that I put out about fairies. This is going to be heavily used in my upcoming video about marrying Krobus as early as I possibly can. And that a fairy will never target a wild seed crop, but they can grow wild seed crops incidentally. So if this parsnip gets hit by a fairy, then all these ones here will grow at the same time. And they'll grow as forage crops. Fully grown, in-ground forage crops. Normally when a forage crop grows, it pops above the ground, but if a fairy hits it, they're still in the ground. Let's have a look. I want it to be sunny tomorrow, and we want the day to be 25th. See if you can spot me. Where did I go? The tent's disappeared, and so have I. So it targeted the parsnip, and all these other ones around me will grow incidentally. This is fully grown. This is a fully grown forage crop. It's in the ground, I can walk over it. All of these, if I pick them up, are going to be horseradish. I've got some new ideas to sleep on. I'm picking up horseradish, and it gave me farming XP. So this is a fully grown wild seed crop in the ground. This time they have a phase of 2. They are in this phase. They are susceptible to crows, except they're not, because this comes down to the order of things. If I sleep one more day, they convert to above ground forage. They're no longer in the ground, I can't walk over them, and they're no longer all horseradish. The fairy happens after the day update. The night that the fairy hits, the crows have attempted to come first, and they've seen seeds. They've seen current phase of 0, they haven't eaten anything. Then the fairy comes, gets them into that weird state where you can harvest them and they're all horseradish. Then if you sleep again, the conversion to above ground forage happens before the crows come. And then the crows come, they see above ground forage, they ignore it. A crow will never eat a wild seed, no matter what.